Hello everyone, my name is Arslan Gabdulhakov. I'm a Master's of Cognitive Science student from Uzbekistan, and today I'm going to talk to Cornelia Freitag about different questions that were addressed to the international office by international students.
Hi, I'm Cornelia Freitag. I'm Vice Rector for Academic and International Affairs at this university, and I'm also very happy to answer your questions.
That's great. So I would start away with the first question. Do you yourself have contact to international students?
Yes, I do. I talk to them from time to time in different situations. For instance, 2 weeks ago, I talked to students from Rotterdam and Oulu in connection to the European University of Post-Industrial City, which we have created a couple months ago. And so we talked via Zoom. And before this, I talked to international students from different countries. And yeah, I have a lot of interaction. And it's important for me to know how international students feel on campus and what their problems are.
Yeah, that's interesting to know. So the next question, how is the RUB going to support the new international students in the upcoming winter term 2020-2021?
Like always, the international office is, of course, the first stop for every international student. And by now, almost all the offers they have are online. And for instance, in October, they had a big online orientation event where almost 200 international students participated, 125 of them already in Bochum, about 30 of them on their way to Bochum waiting for their visas, and about 30 of them staying at home in their home countries. And the international office offers many other office hours and online info session. They have a digital semester program. They also run this Sprachcafé, language cafe, which is a real great place to get into touch with other international students.
Yeah. So maybe another question very much related to the previous questions. So as the issuing of visas is limited in many home countries of international students, can they start the semester in their home country and enter Germany whenever it is possible to continue their studies here?
Yes, absolutely. And of course, for these students, the situation that so many courses now are offered online is actually an advantage.
Yeah.
Because they can take these courses online and then they come here and they continue taking the courses online. The only problem might be that, of course, in certain subjects, certain courses have to be taken on site, and there either a possibility will be found or they have to take the courses a semester later. But basically, absolutely, they can come and they will be advised how to continue their studies here on site.
Yeah, that's great because I know several other people, like sort of my friends, who are at the moment struggling with that. They started the semester, but they are not sure when they will get the visas in order to come here to study.
Right.
Yeah. So how could international students, especially those who will spend the semester online, be integrated better into the everyday life of the university and teaching?
Yeah, I already said that the international office has these offers which are great to get into touch with other international students. On the other hand, I have asked the faculties to also make sure that the international students are integrated. And the Fachschaften with Instagram and WhatsApp groups and Moodle, some of them have Moodle courses, also some of the faculties have Moodle courses. So they would all be places to go to contact so that the international students also are integrated into the community of students, also of German students here at Ruhr University, because as you yourself know, unfortunately, we have to make sure that COVID-19 doesn't spread. So campus is really reserved for work and study, and that's it. So we do not offer events that we normally do offer, where you really can get into contact live with other people and see them in front of you. But that's not, seems not to be happening at the moment. But online, much is done to get in touch. And I can only advise all international students to really try and find these places, go there, get in touch, and use everything that is offered to make contact as soon as possible.
Yeah. And since you mentioned Moodle, and since Moodle is again this semester going to be the central for learning, I would like to ask another question. Because in the previous semester, students were basically left alone with their Moodle, and they were not very much involved by the lectures. Will it change in this semester, and why is it different from program to program?
One answer is that, of course, different courses, different formats lend themselves differently to interaction. And if you have, for instance, a lecture, which is basically input from the lecturer to the students, that is very well organized asynchronously. And it's also good for students because no matter when they have time, they just open the Moodle course, they do what they have to do, and they don't have to be online at a special time. But then there are, for instance, seminars. Most seminars are really based on the idea that you interact. And that, of course, is important. And I'm sure that the seminars will be much more interactive than they were, or many seminars will be more interactive than they were last semester. Because one problem was when we started the last semester, we had within 4 weeks, we had to put everything online, and we did not have a video conference system in place that would have supported so many interactive seminars. We did acquire Zoom, and we found out that Zoom is so robust as a system that it does support zillions of classes at the same time. Yeah. And so we will do this, and we have advised our lecturers to do this more frequently, and I'm sure they also have become better acquainted to the system. They'll use the breakout rooms and everything else that you can do. And also in Moodle, of course, there are so many interesting features. Our Center for Learning and Teaching, I think during the first months of the lockdown, to prepare the classes, had something like 1,000 video tutorials to help teachers learn how to use online tools. Wow. And this has really advanced over the last months, and they've also started to give more intricate advice to teachers who are now more advanced. So I think things are very well on their way.
Wow, that's very amazing job done, I believe. But apart from learning on Moodle online, I believe a lot of students still go to library and they prefer learning in there. And the next question is that many academic institutions worldwide have their libraries open 24/7 except for public holidays. Some other libraries in other universities around the rural area also have their libraries open on an extended hours compared to the University Library of RUB. Why is this the case, and will it at some point, at least some parts of the library, will they be open for longer hours?
With regard to, for instance, US universities, the setup is very different because many students live on campus, so it makes sense that they stay until midnight or even longer. Now, this is different for Ruhr University, and our library actually checked and had long opening hours and checked, are they really used? And they are normally open between 8:30 in the morning to 11 at night, and on Saturdays and Sundays from 9 or 10 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. And these are the times when students really come and learn and sit there. At the moment, though, the office hours are reduced because, one, even less students are around to use the library, and because we are using the library to create single learning spaces for students who feel that they cannot well learn at home. And that, of course, reduces the possibility to open the library, and personnel that normally opens for longer hours is used to oversee the learning spaces. So at the moment, the office hours are reduced, but it has to do with a specific situation. But normally it would be, as I said, 8:30 to 11, which is the time that is really used by the students.
Yeah, because sometimes some students, especially in states, as you mentioned, they prefer going to libraries very late at night, like in 3 a.m., and then study up to their lectures at 8 in the morning, and then they go to classes right away from the library because they live on campus.
Yeah.
For that, it makes sense.
I absolutely am familiar with this because I'm in American Studies. I spent some time in the States at Stanford and Washington and Seattle. And so I'm familiar with the concept, but it's really something in the rural area that doesn't fly.
Yeah, it makes sense. So one of the final questions, which measures introduced last semester due to pandemic will stay even when the danger of spreading the virus will be gone? For example, will the RUP continue to offer the option to attend and record lectures online after Corona?
Definitely digitization will be used much more than it was before, and I think it will be used differently and in a greater variety. But we will definitely make sure that we use it for blended learning. That is, we want digitization to enhance what we do in class, to free space for interaction, for really productive work. And that is really what digitization should do. What we had to do last semester and what we still have to do to a certain extent is really to put everything online only. And that is nothing that Ruhr University is actually standing for. So that's not going to be continued.
Yeah, and maybe this is a continuation of your answer to the previous question, but in retrospect, what you have done anything differently? Would you have done anything differently in the last semester? For example, with the closure of RUP or some other measures that were taken?
Yes, and exactly. That has to do with the way we were forced immediately, because of the lockdown, to start teaching online and online only, and we did not have the infrastructure yet. So there we really suggested teachers they should not rely on synchronous interaction. Yeah. And of course, that led to the fact that many courses were planned so that no interaction took place. And we have changed the strategy, and people have started to come up with clever ideas how to make interaction work also in courses, or offer interactive phases also in courses that are normally asynchronous. And I think that's going to be advantageous for students taking these courses. So, but that had to do with the situation that we had to change so swiftly.
Yeah, this lockdown and all the other measures were very sudden. But it was very difficult to see how, but after your speech, after this conversation, it was, at least for me, very interesting to see how these measures and these ideas were taken and how they were implemented on, like, behind the scenes. So it was a very nice conversation with you, and I'm very happy talking to you today.
Thank you, and I was also happy to talk to you, and I hope we can continue this conversation.
Yeah,
thanks.
Thank you.